Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know I love the beat. Shout out to my man Ron Oliver putting in the work, because this beat, this is just like home for me. I just love it. I let it play too long. I probably let it play too loud, but it's just that good. So let me kill the beats here. It's kind of funny because we're a little over 3 weeks away from training camp opening. The Dallas Cowboys, you got to look at it and say that they did as much as they could with the resources that they had to try and get this team in the best position that they could. Well, one of those positions that we seem to have not really talked about a whole lot, we focused in on Micah Parsons and everything else, where he's going to be the Dallas Cowboys X-Man. Who knows where he's going to line up? Does this mean that Jalen Smith is going to be hitting the road, or Leighton Vander Esch, or how they're going to use all these guys? We've got Keanu Neal, who's going to be playing linebacker. We went ahead and got Quentin Bohannon, the Bohemian Beast, that 330-pound man in the middle. We got all kinds of free agents. We have broken them down to the nth degree. But the key position and a place that the Dallas Cowboys have been lacking since, who should be in the Hall of Fame, is Darren Woodson, and that is actually at safety. Now, of course, we ended up getting Donavan Wilson, who we've had for a few years, who stepped up, who seems to be that hitting safety. And I want to show you guys just a little, give you a little taste of what Donavan Wilson was doing last year. And it was a thing of beauty seeing him hit. It was actually almost old school. That is, if I can find my cursor here. It was almost bam! You got to just love that perfect form, using the shoulder, driving through the carrier, and he laid the mustard to him. You love that, or at least I love that. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love that. And earlier today, I was watching and I was looking for some other highlights because, I like to think of myself as a football historian, so to speak. I don't know if that's the right term or not, but I always like looking at things that happened in the past, because if you don't know where you've come from, you really just don't know where you're going. And I went and came across this clip of Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters, and this is the perfect analogy for what the Dallas Cowboys hopefully have this year, because we have Donovan Wilson, who is that guy who can hit and can drive people, put that fear in there. But Charlie Waters was actually the opposite of Cliff Harris. Cliff Harris, who's going to be inducted next month into the Football Hall of Fame. Charlie Waters was not very far behind him. In fact, Charlie Waters holds the Dallas Cowboys record for most interceptions in the postseason. Bet a lot of you didn't know that. But I want to go to this highlight, or this track about Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters that were really like a dynamic duo. You had the hitter and you had the interceptor.
Hey, Bill. Charlie Waters. Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Cliff Harris. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm not surprised they're in business together. You think, like you say, Charlie and Cliff, well, sure they'd be in business together. Why not?
Appreciate your time today. We're in the electricity business, and we've got something we'd like to run by you today.
In business, and just like in sports, teamwork is the key.
Gas prices.
Look how young Drew Pearson was when this was made.
Less gas. You'd have a net advance in gas.
They know how to work together, and as they did on the field, they're doing the same thing in business.
That gas on the marketplace, we'll turn around and split that profits with you. So it's a no-lose situation on both.
Well, be nice. Don't get Cliff mad, because if he takes that same intensity into the business world, how could you ever say no to this guy?
And if you come across the middle,
bam!
And we put
Does that look familiar to you guys?
We put the forearm on the side of your head. If you don't do it, okay?
Okay.
You understand?
I understand.
Okay. Good. Well, when do you want to start?
People do business with people that they know. And the one advantage that we have is they know us, and they want to do business with us if we have a good product.
People like you think you could do well in Washington or Philadelphia?
I go back to Washington, D.C., those people love to come in, or Pittsburgh. Well, maybe not Pittsburgh. But they like to talk, because they respected us.
As rookies in 1970, neither Charlie Waters nor Cliff Harris figured to find a home in the Cowboys secondary. But during the decade that followed, their aggressive play led Dallas to 5 Super Bowls and 2 World Championships.
Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters would have played the game for nothing. Those guys loved football, but they enjoyed practicing and everything around the game.
Go deep, go deep, go deep, go deep. That's the way to go. That's the way to hustle, Cliff. That's the way to stay on him, Charlie. That's the way to stay on him.
You know, many times the players around you make you, and I think in their case they meet each other.
That's the way to hit it. Okay, Cliff. That's the way to go.
And they were so confident in each other and had such a communication rapport.
Right here. It's not Leroy's not on him. You're on him.
48.
I mean, we're playing tough. When you see the flow, I'm going up and tango on the outside. I'm going right now.
Tom Landry's doomsday defense of the mid-70s featured safeties who were almost identical in size and style.
This is the key here, guys.
Their impact proved to be a lasting legacy.
There were 2 players with tremendous heart, tremendous competitiveness, and I think they were the heart and soul and prototypical Dallas Cowboy of the 1970s.
Boy, do I miss those days.
Now, you were a coach for a while. If you had to come up with a scouting report on Cliff, what would you say?
What Cliff could do on my scouting report on him would be a very forceful person, would rather go for a hit than to make a statement, and thought that it wouldn't have a bigger impact on the game and the outcome of the game, rather than going for an interception.
That's Donavan Wilson, guys.
If there was a chance to go for a hit or go for an interception, I'll always go for an interception.
No Dallas Cowboy ever intercepted more passes in the playoffs than Charlie Waters. But there are no statistics for what Cliff Harris did best.
What he did is he used to calculate the trajectory angle right there, and then all of a sudden he's going to get to that point and explode.
I want to make someone know that, hey, if they come into my territory, they're going to pay a price. It's their option. That's what I should tell the receivers. It's their option.
Together, we end up filling a void where there were no weaknesses in our attack. At least that's what we'd like to think about each other.
Did you ever collide at all?
Oh yeah, my hardest collision was when Cliff. We both.
The hardest hit you ever?
Hardest hit I got in my whole career was Cliff on a slant route. What game helped me?
It was Baltimore.
Johnny
Knight.
See, and you remember the game.
Yeah, and I remember the defense we were in. It was a double team on the slant route on us, and I read the play perfectly. And it's cut in front of him for an interception, and next thing I know, they were carrying me off the field. It just knocked me slap out, and he just loved it.
Well, I read it perfectly too. And we were both went for it.
What did Coach Landry say about that? Did he say, when you looked at it in the film room, did he say anything about that?
No, he doesn't generally comment about things like that. He says, adjust your aim a little bit and try not to hit your own guy.
I'm going to leave it right there. But see, here's the thing. When you think about this, now, the Dallas Cowboys used to be known for great safety play. And right here we have another Dallas Cowboy going into the Hall of Fame at safety, and Cliff Harris. Darren Woodson should be in the near future going in as well as a Dallas Cowboy safety. The thing about this pair was they complemented each other. You had Cliff Harris, who was the hitter, and you had Charlie Waters, who was the interceptor, the ball hawk. And this is what's been kind of lost with the signing of Damontae Kazee. Damontae Kazee, through the course of 2 seasons, had 10 interceptions, 7 in 2018, 3 in 2019, and is still a relatively young man. He's only been in the league for 4 years. Now, he is coming off of having an Achilles tendon injury after week 4 of this past season, but apparently there's no after effects because you did not hear about him on any injury reports during OTAs or minicamp. And in fact, if he can get back to where he was at 2018 and 2019, and Donavan Wilson can take off from where he was, you could see the reenactment of the doomsday safety defense. I'm excited about what this could mean for the team because we have not had a really good pair of safeties on this team in so long. And I'm hoping, I'm praying and begging that this to be the case. And I'm surprised that more people have not been talking about Damontae Kazee's effect on the field. I mean, we're talking about a guy who has had 3 tackles for a loss as a safety, has had 5 forced fumbles, 11 interceptions, and he's only been in the league for 4 years. And when you look at it, his first year, I think he only played in 2 games. His last year, he only played in 4. So we're not talking about a whole lot of time to have done that much damage. So be excited for what we have right now. And definitely, when training camp starts, keep an eye out on Damontae Kazee, because I think that he is going to be the real deal. But with that being said, you know what time it is, guys. It's time to turn down the lights here. Hey, let's turn on the party lights. Let's get there we go. And let's hit the beats. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
I'll see you guys soon.